A lot of times holds, and I think this is a story that professional wrestling tells well still today, is that holds are not necessarily a finish all the time. They're to manipulate the person to move where you need them to be for the finish. Is it possible it could finish? Of course. What's up, you guys? I wanted to talk to you really quick about UFC 263, which was a crazy awesome card full of some really good fights. But namely, I wanted to talk about the Paul Craig, Jamahal Hill fight. Everyone saw the dislocated elbow, tore everything, broke bones. It was bad. I'm not going to touch too much on that until the end. What I want to show is the setup that Paul Craig used to actually get that armbar, because it was a real basic setup, but I think there's actually a submission in there that I don't know that a lot of people, it hasn't been seen in a while. The first thing Paul Craig does is he overhooks Jamahal Hill's arm and then pulls guard. So this is an important thing. I'm not like the biggest proponent of guard pulling. I come from the Josh Barnett School of Grappling, so there's a difference between pulling guard and butt scooting, okay? So if I'm not touching her at all and I just don't want to engage and I just sit to my butt and beg her to come, that's butt scooting, and we hate that as catch wrestlers. But when you pull guard, you have to pull someone in the guard, especially nowadays. At the beginning of the UFC, no one knew what the guard was here in the United States, so he would sit on his butt and people would climb on top of him to try to punch him. Now people are wise to it, so you have to learn how to bring someone into your guard or take them down. So he overhooks and he pulls guard. The first thing Jamahal Hill does is try to pull this arm out, because this is bad and everyone knows it. As he pulls this arm out, Paul Craig switches to a submission that I started calling the Twizzler for no reason. I just named it that. And her way, so to relieve pressure, she's going to move her hip this way. So I have to make sure when I do this, I'm blocking this hip. So I'm just going to hitchhike my thumb this way. Now, this is rarely going to finish someone. You know, Frank Mir versus, who was it that he fought? Pete Williams. Oh. And he got this, and he won a fight in the UFC with this, and everyone's minds were blown, and then I was like, that move is a Twizzler. Yeah. But it's easy to defend. She's going to punch back into me. Okay? And then he's going to post, Jamahal Hill posts his hand on the shoulder here, which is it's not an unwise thing to do. It's just that in this case, with MMA gloves on, do we have a glove? So he posts. Now, because they're wearing MMA gloves, all Paul Craig had to do was trap his hand like this. Pull your hand out. It's stuck. No can defend. Okay? If we're just grappling, especially if we're sweaty and it's just our hand, this is not a way to trap the hand. But because it's MMA gloves, this is easy. So, once again, Twizzler, straightens, posts right here. He just clamps right here. Doesn't even have to grab the hand. Switches to the armbar, and Hill goes belly down. They get in this arm scramble. You see the arm go. It's gross. We'll get into why it could be missed. He gets in the triangle. This arm's already gone. Paul Craig is like, this arm is gone, I guess okay, and just starts beating him to death. Jamahal Hill is a tough fighter, and as a fighter would, keeps fighting, but that was the end. But that little Twizzler move, a lot of times holds, and I think this is a story that professional wrestling tells well still today, is that holds are not necessarily a finish all the time. They're to manipulate the person to move where you need them to be for the finish. Is it possible it could finish? Of course. Frank Mir did it. I'm sure he's not the only one. But all I'm saying is that going for that first hold is what sets up the next one. And that's the real secret. You know, Billy Robinson, a famous quote from Billy is, close 2 doors for your opponent and wait behind the third. So you give your opponent one option to defend and know that he's got to go that way. So you're already ready with the counter. And that's what Paul Craig did.
What's up, guys? This is Future Shayna doing the editing, and I realized I forgot to talk about the ref. And while I do think the ref let the fight go a little bit too long, I think that the actual damage of the arm being torn off is not really on him. The reason being, 2 main reasons. One, if the ref stops a submission before the damage is done, before a tap happens, then no matter what, they get hated for stopping a fight too early. Now, the other thing is, there are often times, and anyone that grapples has seen it, where the armbar looks fully extended and they're fighting and you almost start covering your eyes, but the way they roll their wrist and turn their thumb can take the pressure off of the elbow and make it look like it's bending at that same angle where it would actually dislocate. So that much I don't blame him. Now, when he got put in the triangle and his arm was flopping obviously backwards and limp, that's where I think he messed up, letting it go on a little bit too long there. But all that being said, I just wanted to talk about how sometimes rolling that wrist makes that look very similar to when damage is being done.
It's been a while.
Many a miles on that.
Yeah, these are well broken in. Oh wow, hanging on by a thread. Okay. A relic these are.